So my name is Hannah Krell, and I am running for Director of Digital Marketing and Communications. So about me, I'm a rising sophomore from Manhattan, New York. I'm an economics and marketing double major with a minor in restaurant management. I currently live in Russell. And fun facts and stuff I like to do, I figure skate, I like running, I watch a lot of TV, and I really enjoy cooking and baking. So my experience, my junior year of high school, I was a social media intern for Daily Habit CBD, which is a small CBD company based in New York. And with them, I did a lot of work on their social medias along with helping with photo shoots. I currently am head of social media for all purpose advertising, which is a very small business. And obviously, with the pandemic, their work has been stopped a little. So it's been a little on and off, but it's just something I enjoy doing. I am currently a UD Hillel social media intern, which has actually been a great experience and has allowed me to learn a lot of social media skills for student-like organizations that I previously had not had. And I am also currently president of Russell's Cab. So why am I qualified? I'm an experienced social media user, both personally and professionally. Because I'm a marketing major, I take marketing classes that I learn skills in that help with this and kind of give more of the analysis of the market we're trying to reach. I'm very passionate about this position. I love social media. I always have, and it's always been very fascinating to me. And it's something I intend to do down the line with my life. And I hope to be able to do so for RSA. So my goals for the position. To keep on brand with RSA's current social medias. Obviously, it's good to keep on a brand. You don't want to make it seem like you're switching over entirely. Some changes are good, but also having a brand is very important for social medias. It just makes it cohesive. To communicate effectively and officially with the GA regarding events and reminders, along with people who might not necessarily be involved in their cabs. To communicate effectively and efficiently with the general student body, and to advise cabs on their social media and marketing. And then to collaborate with fellow members to make sure the marketing matches the goals of RSA. So some new ideas. To meet with the cabs kind of at the beginning of the year and do kind of, I guess, like social media training almost. I found like going into cab, I'm the only person really on my cab who has any like experience doing social media or doing the media for our events. And using the app Canva makes it extremely easy because it has a bunch of templates. So just kind of doing a crash course at the beginning of the year or even a couple throughout the year, I think will be very helpful for cabs just to kind of, and anyone else who's interested too, it could be open to the general student body to kind of just give a quick crash course on social media of like the basics and what you need to be able to advertise events, to have a more cohesive theme for the Instagram and make the feed a little bit more appealing. Like obviously there's a brand, but I find like I've looked at it. It might be personal, but I like things that are like very organized, neat, and like very clearly matches this and like kind of in the feed. You see it and you're like, oh, that's an RSA post without looking at it. So I think it'll be cool to like incorporate the colors more in all of our posts. And then to branch out to new social media platforms to promote more RSA, such as TikTok, just because everyone in college these days is on it. And I think it's a great way to make some fun videos, not only to introduce the e-board for RSA, but also to talk about our events and promote them. So why do I want to be involved in RSA? Since being on campus, I've loved my position as president of Russell's Cab and the change in work I get to do through it. And honestly, when I was thinking about running, I wasn't really sure if it was something I would want to do long-term past this year. But through the couple months that I've done it, I've really loved it. And it's definitely something I want to continue to be involved in. I believe the residence hall should be a home away from home, and RSA helps to provide that. And I think being able to help that for next year's freshmen and for years to come would be very cool. And I'm passionate about advocating for a larger group of people than myself and making a positive impact on organizations and communities I'm part of. And I feel that being on RSA eBoard would help to leave a lasting impact. So does anyone have any questions?
Awesome. Thank you, Hannah. We will now move into a period of question and answer for a duration of 5 minutes that is extendable 2 times. I will begin the time with the first X in the chat. So, okay, Griffin, go for it.
So I heard that you mentioned that you're a double major, right? And I believe you said economics and marketing. Is that what I'm saying? Right? Okay. And you talked about going on to TikTok. What do you plan on doing? I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Like for TikTok specifically?
Yeah. So using a different social media platform. How do you plan? Do you plan to advertise RSA on there, or just post funny videos on it? What do you plan for that social media platform?
So RSA currently does not have a TikTok, so I think
Right.
creating one would be great. And then from there, kind of doing little intro videos of all the members and what their positions entail. So people are able to know, oh, this is something I want to talk to someone about. This is who I go to for it. And it's just there and easy. And then in addition, also doing some silly videos of eBoard, I think is a great way to just kind of keep in the feed and people seeing that we're there and that we exist and we have fun, come to our events, and then also advertising our events by using videos that are taken at the events along with just photos and kind of putting them together as just an additional way to get the word out.
Awesome. Thank you.
Connor, go for it.
So let's say that in a certain month, there's multiple events being planned by multiple members of the board. Let's say you have 3 or 4 events, some being large scale, some being small scale. How do you put certain priorities in place to make sure that all the marketing gets done for those events on time and in good quality?
Okay, so I'm personally a little OCD, so I'm crazy with calendars. So I think having a calendar to start with of when every event is and when we want the marketing to go out by is a great way to start. And then from there, looking at the marketing that needs to go out the earliest, start with that, and then move on from there. And as I mentioned in my presentation, Canva is a very easy app to do. So doing the marketing on for Instagrams and that's more of an afterthought. I feel the emails and stuff like that take more effort. So kind of at the beginning of the year, just finding, I guess, a basic template that I can just plug into per every event is a great way to do it and kind of alter it just because it's a base and then just changing the base as needed.
My ex was next. So my question is, you mentioned your thoughts about cohesive marketing, and I really like that point that you made. So from the way that we as an organization have promoted ourselves this past year, I was wondering what critiques do you have about the way that we have marketed ourselves, and how would you change those aspects of how we do that?
So I think the email communication has been great. I think it's more of the social media aspect for marketing of when you look at the RSA Instagram and the feed, you kind of everything matches, I guess, overall for the brand, but the coloring and the themes of the posts don't necessarily do. So I guess just using consistent colors or one element that's tied in that you see in every single post and marketing item, whether it's the RSA logo or using blue and gold, just to make it clear, oh, this is when you're looking through your feed, if you're not looking at the names and you scroll past it quickly, you can go and be oh, that was an RSA thing, let's scroll back up and see what it is, just so people recognize it more.
Awesome, thank you. Ryan?
Thank you so much for mentioning all of the ideas about social media. It seems like that's what you're most passionate about. The position, though, DMAC does include some aspects of email marketing and aspects of taking minutes and some internal business for RSA. So kind of just curious, if you have any experience taking minutes and doing email campaigns as opposed to just social media.
So I don't have like any formal experience per se, but so I was captain of both my synchronized skating team and my track team in high school. So I would kind of, for our meetings when we got together to discuss ideas, I would take the notes of everything that was like happening, whether it's like we're deciding on new uniforms, like what uniforms people liked or anything. And obviously with cab I don't personally take the notes as president, but like being able to put together our presentations has definitely given like a base outline of kind of what needs to be followed for like taking minutes. It's obviously headings and then what everyone says. um, and then for emails, I have sent out emails from when I was track captain of like the information for our meets, like here's the
Sorry,
link
one
to sign
second.
in.
1 second. Sorry. I know it's the interruption is terrible. The Q&A has expired, but to give Hannah a chance to finish up and to entertain the other X's in the chat, I'll see a motion to extend Q&A. Griffin,
Motion to extend Q&A.
do we have a second? Second from Sai. Awesome. Hannah, you may continue.
Okay. So I've sent out emails which kind of contain all the information people need for days of our meets. And then also I have personally run a couple charity events, and I've sent out the emails for that and created the base skeleton as like the auto responses for that and helped set up the websites for that. So that's kind of more of the other side, but I guess it's not, I don't have as much as experience in it, but I'm eager to learn and I do have some.
I think my ex was next. Perfect. So you mentioned developing and establishing an RSA TikTok, which is a really exciting idea. We do have so many other platforms as well that we try to connect with our constituencies with and try to communicate through. So my question is, like, given your experience with social media, how do you plan to take on this new platform and balance all of the ones we already have? And which ones would you prioritize?
Okay, so obviously, like the current platforms are Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The nice thing with Instagram and Facebook now is you can link your posts. So if I were to post on Instagram, I can link it and automatically post on Facebook. It's just personal preference, I feel like, these days of which one you prefer. So that's kind of, I guess, killing two birds with one stone of just being able to combine those two almost. And obviously, if there's something we need to specifically do on Facebook or Instagram that we don't want on both, it's easy to do it. But linking them is a way to just make sure the information gets to both. And Twitter, I feel like, I don't know, I personally think Twitter is more like, it's kind of easy, you know, you write a couple lines here and there, post a couple photos. It's like not as active, I feel like, or it's more active. It's more of like an everyday thing, kind of posting things like, hey, this is what's going on this week. And then I think the TikTok doesn't necessarily need to be super active, but just, I think it makes it a little more fun. It makes a RSA seem a little more accessible to people by being able to do like silly TikToks as an e-board or do like intro posts just so people kind of see them in a fun new way other than just reading them in their feed.
Awesome, thank you. Connor?
So usually as part of your job as DMAC, it would be to work with the director of program and the director of campus engagement on advertising. And I know you've talked about like trying to keep some sort of element, similar throughout posts, but sometimes with events and themes that may not be possible. So like if you have, thank you. So if let's just say that it's a spring event and the person wants like pastel colors and kind of spring colors, would you work with that person to maybe meet what you also want, or would you just go with what they say? How would you work with that person in that situation?
So I definitely think there's a way to combine it all of like, if a person wants pastel colors, that's great. We can switch from doing the normal blue and gold to more pastel blue and gold, or doing like a blue background with like fun little accents of like flowers that are in different pastels to kind of spice it up. But like the elements of like the cohesive blue and gold branding are still there in the background for the visual eye, but your eye isn't necessarily drawn to it as much, if that makes sense.
Connor, go for it.
Okay, I just didn't know if I had a follow-up. So do you have, how do I word this? Do you believe that this could cause a problem with boxing in those members of the board with their creative ideas and having maybe these somewhat rules in social media?
I mean, I'm not trying to implement any rules whatsoever. I think it's more of something I'll do on my end of like kind of incorporating the colors somehow, but obviously working with the people who need the media marketing done. And if they're unhappy with the colors, we can nix it for that. We can find another way to kind of make a cohesive brand. It doesn't need to be the colors per se. It could be using like the same font for every post we do, or putting the RSA logo somewhere on everything we do. The colors was just an example, and obviously it'll be kind of a trial and error of seeing what other people are excited about having in the media. And obviously if me personally wanting the cohesive brand with the colors doesn't work, we can change it to something else. I'm very accommodating and happy to work with other people, and everything will be posting, I obviously want everyone, especially the creators of the event, to love, because it's their event and I'm just trying to get their message across.
We are right on time. So I see there's another X in the chat, so I can entertain a motion to extend Q&A. X from Victoria.
I move to extend Q&A.
Second from Ryan. Okay, Ryan, I'll start as soon as you start speaking.
Thank you, Abby. So in addition to social media, emails, I forgot about one platform. We have our RSA website. So I was sort of curious to hear, our website is based off of a template on WordPress. So I was curious, we did a decent amount of rehab on the website this year. I'm just curious to see if you had any ideas or vision for that platform as well.
So I think the website as it is very good. It's easy to navigate. I guess like one thing I've like kind of noticed is just like the cab button kind of has points and everything under it, along with it's like I believe under a subcategory or something else. I think adding cab as its own thing might be nice, just because like cab members sometimes want to check on it, and obviously having some additional resources there, like almost like kind of cheat sheets, I guess, for like social media, or like even also having a list of all the emails clearly put like somewhere on the website of who does what position. And obviously the contact us button is great, but you have to scroll pretty far down to find it. So maybe almost putting a button on like the top of the website that automatically scrolls you down if people are interested in contacting us. But I think the revamp of the website was a very good revamp, and it makes it very easy to navigate.
Awesome. Any other questions? Ryan.
Move to end Q&A.
Okay, there's been a motion to end Q&A. Do we have a second? Second from Connor. All right.